Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this evening's episode of My Friend Show. I'm one of your hosts, Don Brown, and we're joined tonight by
Christopher Lall. Hello, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, we're rocking scannable t-shirt tonight. Please, if you see me out and about, scan the T. You'll be entered into a drawing for your own scannable t-shirt. Spice up your life. Scannable
Scan
t-shirts.
the T, not the D.
Scan the T, not the D. Well, I mean, maybe. Who knows? See where it goes.
In those gray sweatpants, right?
Yes, yeah, gray sweats. You know what? I want to start tonight with a real quick question. I spent like 2 or 3 hours tonight looking for questions before we started, and I found a lot of wacky ones. A lot of love life questions. I didn't really feel like tackling those. I'm not really an expert on the topic. But this one really stood out to me, Chris, and I didn't prep you for this one. Just want to get your hot take on it.
Great.
Right, what comes to mind. Could an unarmed man in a suit of medieval armor beat a wolf? It's an actual question.
An unarmed man in a suit of armor.
Medieval suit of armor.
A medieval suit of armor beat a wolf. I'm going to go with no.
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 Wow.
No, those suits are not designed for a wolf. What are you
They're designed for swords.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But in order to move in those things, they have to have some weaknesses. And if you're in it's you versus the wolf, unless that wolf is running away for any reason, if one of you guys needs to come out alive, I'm gonna put my money on the wolf.
Hot take, I like that. I was feeling wolf also, but I did do a considerable amount of research for this question because that's what the internet's really good for, is diving deep into meaningless questions about wolves and armor.
Yeah.
And it looks like the wolf can bite at about 1,500 pounds per square inch, which is enough to crack a moose femur. Just a fun fact. But it also looks like the suits of armor are designed to be a lot more mobile than you think. So I would actually put my money on the man in the armor. But that's not fair because I didn't give you any.
Can you just? I guess I'd have to think about how the wolf's going to take that. Or
yeah, exactly. Where's the wolf going to get me? I just yoke that wolf up real quick. Grapple him.
Yeah, medieval suit of armor. Because I mean, there is no weaknesses. You did some research. I would have done some research on this.
There are certainly weaknesses, but you have to have an understanding of the armor and how to fight to get to those weaknesses. So I don't think the wolf understands that. If it does get your throat, though, so there'd be an over-under on the bet. I'd give you an over-under on it for sure. So if you want to take the wolf, we could make it maybe interesting. Two wolves.
And I want to know how the wolf is going to die. How's he going to get the wolf? How's he going to take down the wolf?
Choke him. Smash him. It's getting dark. I don't know. I think you could beat him, though. I think you could beat the wolf with the armor on.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, we'll unless you want to keep going into this, we can leave.
No. Let's get on to the serious stuff.
But I would like to hear what others have to say. So if anybody can just let us know what they think. Maybe you got some time on Monday morning. You want to do a little research of your own.
Yeah, I would say I'd even go so far as to say the first 10 people to answer about the wolf are entered in for their own scannable t-shirt.
And
I'll make it. It'll be handmade.
Could you guarantee him a sticker?
And I'll guarantee him a sticker, yes.
Is that the top first 5 that we see get a sticker?
First
or
5
first
people
10?
to answer the wolf. I'll even do first 10. First 10 that answer the wolf question on, where do you want to put it? You want it on Instagram? Or you want it on YouTube comments?
YouTube Either one. I literally just sit there and wait for a ding. So did we get a comment? So we'll be able to see who the first ones are, and there'll be a timestamp
Okay,
on
first,
it. Twitter,
first 10.
or Twitter.
If they can find it out on Twitter, yes. All right, so first 10 comments, you're guaranteed a sticker, and you're entered in for a drawing for a phenomenal scannable T-shirt.
These stickers are legit. They're like
t-shirts.
$1. They're like at least $1 a sticker.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they're $1. They're $1 a piece.
Yeah,
that's how you know it's good. But all right, enough about that. Let's dive into the meat and potatoes of tonight's episode. We're going on an adventure again. Deep dive into the Reddit metaverse, pulling out 3 questions that I tracked down this time. Oh no, you did get the last one, so I'm taking too much credit here. But that we tracked down across the advice boards. So we're all right. Let's dive into question 1. When it comes to confidence, does fake it until you make it really work? I have social anxiety issues, also self-esteem issues, especially when it comes to talking to someone other than my friends and family. I get nervous, fumble, or my voice is really low while talking to someone at work, university, making phone calls, making orders, etc. But recently I'm making many changes to this and to get out of my comfort zone and to still talk with people, speak up, have conversations, even if it makes me nervous. I basically fake it. I still fumble. English isn't my first language, but I still try talking in English where it needs to. But I feel proud of myself for at least giving it a try and getting out of comfort zone instead of being shy and nervous all the time. What's your take on this? What else can I do to improve my confidence and have a loud and clear voice in person as well as talking on phone calls? What do you think, Chris?
I think he kind of answers it. He is doing what I think he should be doing and just faking it until you make it. If you don't, it's going to take him longer to get where he wants to go.
I always get nervous with the fake it till you make it approach. I like it, of course. Like, confidence is king. You know what I mean? Like, yes, be confident in yourself. But that, like, fake it till you make it mantra has its downfalls too, where you're maybe not open enough to the idea that you don't know what you're doing here, so you should be learning as well. So trying to master what you're looking at and being that kind of like humbled to the experience at the same time, I think is really important. So faking confidence maybe is a good idea, but always keeping in the back of your mind that you don't want to be faking it. You want to be learning and actually mastering what you're looking to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean there? I know it might be kind of
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. And I think, and I agree. You in some sense, you want to be collecting that feedback. But what I like is just getting yourself out there. There's no reason to, I think one of the things you said was like ordering something. So when I think of that, I think of like, I don't know, calling and ordering something on the phone. And like, to some people that gives them anxiety, ordering something on the phone, but you just got to do it. You just got to do it. If it needs to be done, you just do it and you get over it. And if it doesn't work, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I don't, if you don't call, you're going to miss the opportunity to try. And I mean, the worst thing that happens, you get like, I don't know, you get pot stickers instead of crab rangoons or something. And that's
both good.
Yeah, they're both good.
You know what I like to do though, too, is when I feel like this, at work or when you're maybe like meeting people for the first time, is to kind of remember that they're just people too. Like they don't really matter. They're important. Like, I'm not saying, disregard their human life, but at the same time, they don't matter. Like you said, nothing bad is going to happen here. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. It doesn't matter if you fumble, as long as you're willing to say like, yeah, I messed up there and I'm going to learn from it and keep moving on. I like to kind of picture these people as shy and nervous, just like everybody is about certain things. I was painfully shy as a kid. It's hard to believe because I'm such a chatterbox now, but
yeah. I was definitely shy myself, which is also, I would say, surprising, but I've been to a point where I think I kind of figured out what this guy is figuring out now, where you're just, whatever, put yourself out there. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to go home defeated. Well,
Yeah, and it brings up that like Teddy Roosevelt in the arena poem, or like quote. I don't think it's a poem. Teddy Roosevelt. You got to look that up.
I like to think of it as a poem.
Might be a poem, yeah, but it's about like getting out there, and it's like it's better to be in the arena and to fail than to be the person criticizing the person in the arena. It's like that guy's a bitch. He's not in the arena. Like fuck him. And so it's better to put yourself out there than to not, I guess, is where I'm going with that.
There's probably a whole bunch of quotes we could be reading. Something about like falling off a horse and getting back up on it, and
something about taking shots that you don't take, you miss.
Yeah,
I don't remember one of those.
Yeah, from The Office, the guy from The Office, he came up with that, right?
Yes, yeah. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
I'd say, I mean, having confidence is great. I like the just if there's someone in the office and you want to talk to them, to do it. Have the confidence to talk to them. Have the confidence to ask questions. So, I mean, I don't know, all the scenarios that he's in that he doesn't have, isn't leveraging confidence, but to ask a question, you want to have the confidence to try something new. You want to have the confidence, but kind of like what you said though, Don, at the same time, you also want to be, you don't have to, I guess you don't have to exude confidence. You can kind of sit back, maybe think about it a little bit. And then when you are feeling more confident, go after some of those things that you're trying to accomplish. But I want to touch upon a little bit of the English aspect too. It sounds like English is his second language, and I'm sure that probably gives him anxiety trying to talk to people. And if you're gonna make a mistake with what you say, and on that one, I would say just go for it. Like,
yeah,
that's how I think that's the best way to learn the language. Just go for it, right? Don't be nervous about it. Definitely just say what you're trying to say, and if it doesn't come out right, worst case, you're probably gonna get punched in the face. But other than that, like, not a big deal, I don't think.
I can't imagine that happening too. I feel like most people are pretty sympathetic if you're like trying to figure out the words, and people are there to help you wherever possible. I know it's, there are of course some assholes out there who may punch you in the face, but in general, I think people are pretty forgiving and understanding that it's like a multicultural world, and we're always trying to help you out, because I've traveled to different countries too and been totally stranded where I don't speak the language, and just trying to like work my way through it with broken English is always fun. So I sympathize with that.
Don, his last thing he said is that he wants to improve his confidence, and do we have any tips for him? You being not so confident, do you have any tips?
Make yourself a master at what you're trying to do here. So if you're, especially in the workplace, but even in the, university settings, or even like making orders, just call more pizza shops, bro, on that one. But as far as like in the workplace, learn as much as you can about what you're working on. So if it's a new product, spend a little extra time working with that product so that you feel like you have at least the basics, and you're not showing up to these meetings underprepared. You'll feel more confident right away with that. Same with like a university setting. Do a little extra studying, spend a little extra time with the reading. Anything you can do to build a foundation on your understanding is going to pay off dividends when you're looking to be confident in front of other people. And you, with your overconfidence, please tell us how we should be more humble.
What? I don't even know what that word means. Just laugh everything off that would maybe take away your confidence. So I wouldn't say, I don't really know how to build your confidence, but I would say how to not destroy your confidence is just to laugh everything off, kind of get a chuckle out of it, see other people's sides of it. You said something funny. It is what it is. You ended up with those the pot stickers instead of the crab rangoons. It is what it is. So just laugh it off. I would say if you keep laughing about it, you'll eventually get there. You'll learn faster than everybody else. So keep with it.
I like that. Laugh it off. That is like great advice there about don't take anything too seriously, man. You're learning. You'll get through it.
Yeah, as Taylor Swift said, just shake it off.
Future sponsor.
Yeah.
T Swift. All right, I'm gonna leave that one there. Let's go next question. This one This one I think both of us can actually at least understand from some level. We may not have all the tips and tricks, but I'm going to dive into this one. I want to go vegan plus gluten-free. I want to change my diet. My reason being is that the people I live with, family, eat a lot of stuff with lactose, gluten, and meat. I've noticed that I tend to get sick or feel sick when I eat this stuff, and it's honestly tiring because I don't like feeling like shit. The only thing is, I don't know where to start. Like, I know some vegan products, but I don't know what the essentials are besides vitamins. They didn't end this with a question, but I've tried so many different diets, and I know you kind of live on a more restrictive diet than most people. I've been vegan before. I've also been gluten-free. I like to do all like the kind of trendy Hollywood diets, you know. That's a joke. But the vegan thing is really challenging. It's really hard to manage the food that you take in, plus getting those essentials. Like you have to double down on things like mushrooms, beans, lentils, all of that stuff. And that's kind of hard on your stomach too. Gluten-free is easier. There's so many like trendy options for that. But I think what you should really do is kind of look back on the fact that you feel like shit from eating certain things and start to systematically cut those out of your diet. Unless you have a doctor saying you're actually, allergic to or sick from certain things, I'd actually recommend starting with a more vigorous exercise routine and then look at your diet, because, once I started exercising more, my diet actually didn't matter as much, and I started to feel better. Like my joints hurt less. As you build your body stronger, the food that you take in is getting burned and churned up, and it seems to be better for me. Chris, what's your experience with like diets and changing it up?
Yeah, I've tried like high protein diets at one point. That it was fine. I actually like that. I'm definitely, I could. At one point in my life, just eating protein and like steak, it just made the most amount of sense to me. Like not even really getting my vegetables in, just high protein diet. I've tried my most recent, and this is not really by choice. I have to go into, I guess, a little bit more detail, but I went vegetarian for about 3 months, and
ethical reasons, right? Like ethical
mostly
vegetarian.
Ethical, yeah. No, I hate even saying this word, but I got COVID, and my smell went away, and when it came back, things didn't smell the same. They still don't. But meat to me, and I sorry if this offends anybody or grosses anybody out, but it smelled just like dead animal, exactly what it is. So I was just, I'm going to eat vegetables. I'm going to eat rice. And when I did that though, I had some consequences. So I guess my advice would be to really make sure you know what you're doing before you just start cutting things out. Try to talk to a nutritionalist. I think that would be what they would call them. But I didn't do that, and I just was not going to eat chicken anymore. I'm not going to eat steak anymore. I was just eating a lot of vegetables, a lot of rice. I'd still eat pizza. It wasn't gluten free or anything. But what happened was when I was like, oh, I really need to start looking into this, my hair started falling out of my head. And as you can probably tell, I have absolutely beautiful hair. Like it couldn't be any better. I get compliments about it all the time. Sometimes people stop me and they ask to touch it. A lot of different things. It is what it is. It was tough, but all of a sudden,
it's mostly men asking to touch your hair, right?
Men and women. You're right. Yes, mostly men and women. And so I was jumping in the shower, and as I was in the shower and washed my hair, I just was getting clumps out, and I don't know, my girlfriend always says that happens. Like, oh, okay, it's fine. When girls do it, like, oh yeah, we lose hair. You shed. That's what it is. You're shedding. Well, I was shedding a lot. So, I did some research into it, and shedding's popular when you're just cut out meat like that. And so you're missing some vitamins. And so I was like, oh no, I have no, it's not an ethical reason why I'm not eating meat. I guess I can, I guess I'll try and incorporate meat back into my diet. So about 3 months after being vegetarian, I had to wean back on chicken. Actually, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like there was any crazy explosions, we'll say. It was nothing crazy. I don't think I'd do as good with red meat, but started adding chicken back in, and it made a world of difference. But before I did that, during those like 3 months that I wasn't eating, I did do a lot of research. I even have somewhere, I'm not going to pull it out right now, but I have like a fact sheet that tells you all about the different vitamins and minerals. And I started getting super into that, and I started taking some vegetable pills, essentially, some vegetarian pills that would give me a lot of my multivitamins. But it did lead me to learning quite a bit about actually going back to protein and making sure I get enough protein in my body. All in all, I guess the best thing about trying diets is probably learning about kind of what food does for your body and how important it is. I guess kind of learn from my mistake there and make sure you know what you're doing so you don't just start losing your hair. Because now I have, and you can't see it, but I have like, because I didn't lose my hair, it was shedding, which is different somehow. It's just like your hair like falls out quicker. But I have like all these little tiny hairs, and I know girls, any girl that's out there who probably doesn't like those little baby hairs, especially on the forehead. I have all these little baby hairs now, tiny little hairs. Now my hair's growing back, but it's
at least
so
it
different.
grew back, yeah. At least it grew back.
It grew back, but it was terrifying. I was like, wow, that's how I identify myself. Is my beautiful, lovely locks,
luscious locks.
Yeah, it's part of your identity, and you're just losing it. It's not because you chose to. Like if I go get a haircut and I got it all cut off, that's okay, it is what it is. But when you just start pulling hair out of your head, it's a little devastating for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what this made me think about, because I've had very similar experiences where it's like I got sick from trying to change my diet. I got sick on the side of a mountain once because I was on this, like, the 4-hour diet, the 4-hour body or whatever that guy, what's his name? He's one of those, like, famous people who wrote the 4-hour work week. That guy, he wrote a nutrition book, too. So I tried that guy's diet, and I was, like, dropping tons of weight. But then I went out and did something strenuous, and I thought I was going to die on this mountain because I had no energy, like no gas in the tank at all. And that's what these things where you like drastically change your diet, it's insane because you think you feel like shit right now. Like, yeah, I would say if you start cutting out all of those things that you're used to there, you may actually wind up in a worse spot than you expected.
Yep. And there might be some benefits.
Food is medicine, dude. Yeah. Like, you need it. Yeah.
I felt like not lighter, like weight wise, but I felt like I had more energy when I cut out red meat. Now I don't notice it as much anymore, but not having red meat, just like cutting it out for like the first, I don't know, maybe it was like a month into it. I was like, wow, all right. I feel like I have a little bit more energy. I felt like lighter. I felt like I just could, I just was, I don't know, less dark circles under my eyes. Waking up in the morning was easier to me. Maybe that was like psychological or something, but I did feel better cutting out red meat. So I haven't gone back to red meat. I eat, and one of the other positives I would say is I eat a lot of vegetarian meals now, which is awesome. I didn't realize all these different meals that I would have
cheaper
enjoy. Yeah. And it's cheaper. Honestly, I was spending so much money on steak. It was insane. I was going to the butchery like nonstop. I was living at the Newbury Butchery in Newbury. It was so.
No, I know.
West
yeah,
Newbury.
That is like the benefit there is that it's drastically less expensive to eat that way. And people always say it's like, oh, it's so expensive to eat healthy. It's probably not. Like if you actually kind of know what you're looking for here.
Yeah.
But I think the moral of the story is to kind of look at this and take it in waves. This person shouldn't just like dive into getting rid of shit. From my experience, that's going to work out fucking terrible for you. Like you're going to feel awful.
And I don't think it's crazy research. I think you just need to follow a plan. Like you need to find meals that are appropriate.
Yep. No, you're right. Let's Let's move on from this one because we got a long one here at the end. So I want to get to the third question here. This one Chris found. So if you hate it, let us know. This one is annoyed with a friend over splitting bills. And, before I read this, if I could count how many times Chris has left me with the bill or with a fake credit card that doesn't work, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're diving in. Hello. I, 25-year-old male, was visiting a city where my close friend, another 25-year-old male from college, lives. And on the day I was leaving, I met up with him and we hung out the whole day. For lunch, we went to a place he suggested, and because I haven't seen him in a while, I treated him and covered the entire bill on my own. Hell, I was happy to treat him at his favorite local restaurant because he's that good of a friend to me. And then dinner time came. This is the part that annoys me. We both ordered our entrees, and I ended up getting a dish that is half the price of the entree my friend got, which I didn't realize until I paid for my bill, but he knew what I was ordering, as I had told him before making the order. My portion of the bill was only like $20 to $25, similar to lunch I paid for us, and from the culture of taking turns paying, I thought maybe he was going to pay for the dinner for both of us. But when the bill came out at the end of the meal, he didn't show any signs paying the bill, so I didn't think much and just thought, I guess we're splitting this one, and got my card out, and so did he. Then the waiter asked, "Do you two want to pay in the middle?" And before I could respond, he just said, "Yes, please." I was fine with this because I didn't see the bill when I paid, and I thought that we both ordered entrees at similar prices. But when we were individually charged, I realized the bill is higher than what I had anticipated. I didn't want to argue with him because we both have great jobs and make good money for mid-20-year-olds. 6 figures. But this situation itself just left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm a friend visiting his town and just felt taken advantage of. After that, I had to catch my flight and had to leave to the airport. He said here that he would have driven me to the airport if it weren't for the traffic and just told me to call the Uber, which was fine with me, but knowing that he doesn't have any plans after made me a bit disappointed because I really have considered him one of my closest friends, and this hangout was the first time in 2 years since the COVID outbreak. Is it normal to be upset, annoyed with this situation? Trust me, it's not the money, but something about this has been bothering me, and I just wanted to sanity check my emotions here. Thanks. Oh, that was a doozy, Chris.
Yeah.
Could be an essay. But I think everybody's been here. But I want to know what your take is on this. You go first.
All right. Yeah, I would have to say to this person, you're probably overthinking it. It wasn't a big deal. It was an extra. Maybe you bought him lunch. That's great. That's awesome. You did that. So take away that scenario. That's immediately done. You can't bring that into the next meal. This next meal, you went to split it, and maybe it cost you an extra $20, $30. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, you're on vacation. You're visiting your buddy. To tell the waitress, hey, can you make it so that this charge goes on this and that charge goes on this? It really doesn't matter. I really don't think it matters. Your buddy's probably not thinking about it because he makes 6 figures and you make 6 figures. Now, I would think that if there was a difference and you knew that there was a difference in like your job versus his job and there was a money situation, like, yeah, maybe you want to jump in and maybe you want to pay for it and maybe he wants to, vice versa. But I think with you guys having similar jobs, you going to visit him, I think that you going to visit him doesn't really matter. I think you're overthinking it. I don't think this is a big deal at all.
That's interesting. I agree. Like, I don't think it matters that, that you're upset about it. You're probably just, being a bitch about it, and you should get over that. It's not real, it wasn't like real slight. But what came to to my mind, and being I've always been a poor person, so I understand this. I was kind of thinking that I bet his buddy is not as well off as he thinks he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, those are classic moves right there, where you're, oh, I would take you to this, but it's better if you take an Uber or something, like he doesn't have gas in the car. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's split it down the middle. He can't offer to pay because he doesn't actually have the money. It just kind of like stood out to me that is definitely a possibility here.
You could be onto something. It could be. And in that case, like, then, hey, it is what it is. Like, you really shouldn't be worried about it. So I would say either way, you shouldn't be worried about it. Maybe he doesn't have the money to pay for it, or maybe he just doesn't care. Like, it's something he's not even thinking about. And maybe that's ignorant on his part, but sometimes this money situation is just kind of awkward. It's like, whatever. Like, you just throw your card down. It is what it is in these scenarios. If you guys were getting lunch every single day, if it was you worked with this guy and you guys are going back and forth, like me and Don, it would be no big deal if I picked up Don's bill and then he picked up mine. Like, that would be fine. But if you're just seeing this guy one time and it is what it is, he's probably just, who cares? He throws his card down. Yeah, just split it down the middle. I don't really. He might not even have looked at how much his meal was. Maybe you went to a different restaurant than I'm thinking, but I'm assuming his meal was like, at most, maybe $30. What do you think? Can we go 30? We'll go 36. We'll say we went to the best restaurant in town.
That feels like a stretch. Yeah, that feels like a lot. And
at that point, it's like, oh, so your meal was 20, his meal was 40. You spent an extra $10 on it, like. But I know why you're been, because I've been there, and especially when you don't, because I'm like Don, I've been in a place where you don't have a lot of money, you don't have any money at all, and then you're kind of worried about it. So, but in your situations, at this point, you gotta realize that you do have a little bit of money in the bank, and sometimes it's not worth like worrying about it unless it was going to be an every single day occurrence. Now there is. The other part to this, and like Don, is there anything else you want to talk about for like the splitting of the bill factor?
No, yeah, I think like splitting it down the middle is the easiest thing to do. And now, I mean, this is a good lesson learned for old 25-year-old male here, bro. It's like, don't get the cheap shit on the menu when you go out to eat. If there's even an inkling that I'm splitting the fucking bill down the middle, I'm getting a steak, dude.
Get the steak.
I'm getting a steak. Like, not to be a jerk, but I'm going to eat what I want because I might get sidled with half of Chris's steak. Like, that might happen.
No,
so I might as well enjoy it. True, yeah. The question 2, we found out you don't eat steak, but you might eat a lobster, you know what I mean? Like, so
I'll definitely get the lobster.
That's lesson learned for our hero here in this story is like, don't get the fucking chicken piccata. Get the steak, bro.
Yeah.
It's going to be all right.
And shake it off. It's your buddy. Shake it off.
Yeah, it's your buddy from college. I'm surprised you guys didn't get beers.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Yeah, if you had more beers, you wouldn't have realized. You would have probably picked up that second bill.
Exactly.
Yep.
What about the driving to the airport here? I think the Uber's the better option anyways, but
I agree. I get what he's saying. Like, it would be better for him for sure if he got a ride to the airport. But dude, it's better for, it's just fine. It's fine. Just jump in the Uber and now you're on your way to the airport. This guy gets to go home. Like, that's awesome. You're done hanging out with. It's not like you're going to have that much fun with him in the car. Like, maybe you will. Maybe you got like a game you're going to play where you like read the license plates or something. But like, no, man.
License plate bingo?
Yeah, it does sound like fun. I would prefer getting picked up. I think is important because like you get in there, it's exciting. You want to see that person. That person wants to pick you up. I wonder if he did. I wish we could find that out. And I hope when we post this,
it doesn't sound like it. No, it doesn't sound like it because the kid intros it that he was visiting the city and happened to meet up with his buddy.
Okay,
like, that's how I get the intro here. So it's no. This isn't a dedicated trip.
Yeah, this is not even a dedicated trip. It's like a work trip or something. What the hell?
Right?
No, I personally, I do offer. I would say, hey, do you want me to drive you in? But I got a bus station right down the road that I can just drop you off at. It's super convenient, and you can take the bus into Boston. Now I don't have to drive back from Boston. So, not that I wouldn't offer, but especially if there's a shit ton of traffic. I mean, why would you want your buddy to sit in a ton of traffic on the way home by himself when he could just go home and you could take an Uber? Like, probably saved you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was a $40 Uber. That probably sucked, but it is what it is. Just
you're 25 and you make six figures, dude. You're 25 and you make six figures.
He's probably not used to making money, and that's what it is. He's like used
get
to
the
his
Uber
college
Black, bro.
Yeah.
Get the Uber Black. Like,
Yeah.
fucking chill out in the back. Maybe get like a beer for the road.
Oh,
it's gonna be
beer.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just your buddy that you're met up with. You know, he doesn't owe you anything. That being said, I get where you're coming from on both of these. I think, and that's why this question was interesting to me, because I think a lot of people are awkward about bills, and
Yes.
in splitting of bills. I always get a chuckle, and some people would probably laugh at me about this and be like, "Oh, you're wrong." But when like a boyfriend and a girlfriend, they split the bill, I'm always like, "What do you mean? Here's my card for me and my girlfriend, but you're gonna pull out. You guys have two cards." What?
You guys have separate accounts?
Yeah.
What?
This is like, can you consider this a date and one of you guys gets the other one? Like, and it's not like you guys have been dating for 30 minutes. You guys have been together for 2-3 years and you have different cards that you're going to be putting into this mix. And,
Yeah, that's just frustrating. I don't like that.
But I think the bill is always kind of weird. Like, there's always weird situations. Like, you know, someone picked up the drinks and they were super expensive at one place, and then you go out to the next place and the bill's like cheaper, and they're like, "Oh, I got this one." Like, there's always weird. But I just
That's my move.
Yeah, pick up the cheaper bill, of course.
Yeah, man. For my life in poverty was such a. You got to learn these like navigational tricks to get through those situations where you're, like you said, it's so fucking awkward with the bills and the. Yep. Trying to figure it out, or having to ask people, be like, I don't have any money, like I can't afford this tonight, guys, and someone was always like, I got you, dude, and then it's like, thank you, man, appreciate that.
I guess I think we both have, but bend the hammer, bend the nail. It is what it is, you know. Like it would come. Your next buddy, when you go out, he's gonna treat you to everything in the city, and you're like, oh wow, this is great, and then that guy's gonna go home and be like, dude, I had to buy everything for this kid when he came into the city to see me. And you'd be like, oh, my good Freddie treated me to all these different restaurants. But, you know, the best thing you could do is just not worry about it too much, and unless you really need to, if the money's not there. But what are you going to do with it? Like, you're not going to – you can't take it with you, right, Don? You can't take it to the grave with you. I guess you could.
Can't take it with you. It's not worth it. I would say – there's going to be a million other situations in your life where you're buying folks dinner, you're having a good time, you're out for drinks. Like, if you've got the money, honestly, if you don't have it, don't do that. But in your case, it sounds like you're good to go. So I think you're being a bit dramatic here.
I thought you were going to say a bitch.
That fits.
That being said, I think it's fair for him to be mad or be questioning it up until the point where he gets on the airplane and now he's trying to get some snacks or something. Like, you know, check in at the gate, and at that point you're like still thinking about it. And then once you get to the area where you're like getting some Cheez-Its and a water for the plane, at that point you got to get over it. Move on.
Yeah. Let it rip and be done.
Yeah. Yeah. Not so much that like you then go home and you wait a day and then you put it on Reddit. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it.
I do appreciate it though.
We do appreciate it. We do appreciate it. Yeah.
And let me know how it works out. Maybe you maybe you don't buy dinner next time.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do. Maybe you learn. And remember, get the steak.
Yeah, just get him next time. Next time you go there, just be like, oh, pull I don't have my card. Or give him the old expired card.
Yeah, give him the old fake debit card. That's a good move.
I left on with a debit card that expired, or a credit card that expired. All of a sudden I had a work thing. We're in work and I have to go, and I throw my card. I'm like, dog, just pay for me. Like $11. This was 6 years ago. I'm still hearing about it. I immediately Venmoed him the balance or whatever. You know, probably gave him an extra $5. Maybe even bought him a coffee. I don't know. But
none of that happened.
I still owe you the $9.95 from Thai Spice.
$9.95 Thai Spice.
Yeah. Well, I hope you learned a lesson.
I think this is a life lesson that this kid needs to learn here. It's like splitting the bill is arguably the worst scenario, and I think he did the right thing. Just fucking let it roll off your chest, and now you know how it works.
Yeah. Yep.
Next time, get better.
Yeah.
So that's our 3 questions for the evening. We still have a little bit of time, Chris. Is there anything else you want to talk about tonight? Any hot topics for me?
I am super happy because that we are gonna have this being an early one, because I think people have been asking for it. They're like, "How do you make your show 5 minutes?" And I'm like, "I can't do that. I like to talk." So I think it's good that we've kept it short, and I'll probably market it that way. Hey, short episode, watch the whole thing, you get full credit. But I don't want to let everybody go until we talk about one thing. And Don, do you know what that one thing is?
If it's fucking daylight savings time, I'm going to stop the recording.
Dude, it is daylight savings time. Guys, that's
knew it.
coming up. Stay positive about it. That's super exciting. How did you remembered that I wanted to talk about this?
Yeah, you've been badgering me for 3 days about daylight savings time like it's an event.
Yeah,
no one
everybody's
cares.
excited about it. Everybody's excited about it.
Who?
I'm positive. Don literally has been belittling me about this, telling me it's a bad topic and that nobody's excited about
It's a
this.
terrible topic.
If you're not excited about more daylight, you're out of your mind.
I just feel like it's such a ridiculous practice. It's stupid.
Oh, I agree. We shouldn't ever set the clocks in a scenario where I'm going to lose daylight at the end of the day.
I just feel like there's so much more to be excited about than moving the clocks around.
You don't get any sort of benefit from having more light at the end of the day.
No, I actually prefer it dark. That's a fact. I always liked it when it was get dark early.
You're the only person in the world.
I know it's people think it's weird, but I genuinely actually prefer like the winter over the summer.
But it gives you and your girls an extra hour, even longer to. I mean, potentially up until 8:30, 9 o'clock to go to the park. You
True,
like going to the park?
I'm gonna take advantage of it, but I've never been one of those people that gets like down about the winter. I actually really like it.
It's nothing about the winter. I think it's the daylight. I don't need the daylight in the morning. Do you need the daylight in the morning? Do you like the daylight in the morning?
No, I try to sleep in as often as possible.
Man, I have the sun coming in. When I wake up, I'm like, is it 12? Is it 1, 2 in the afternoon? I don't know. The sun is in my eyes, beaming, and it makes no sense to me. It's 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and the sun is up and at 'em, and I am not happy about it. I could use a little darkness in the morning. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're going to get your wish because fucking daylight savings time is coming.
It makes no sense that we did this for like the farmers. Like, I don't even know that many farmers, but I know a lot of people that are not farmers.
The farmers are like the most important people that we have. You vegetarian.
Well, just don't even use a clock if you're a farmer. Just wake up when it's light out and then go to bed when you want to. Like, that doesn't affect me.
You're farmer shaming.
And I like farmers. Nothing against my farmer friends, and I definitely have some farmer friends. They're awesome people. But just if it's light out, wake up. Get up.
That's a good plug. That's a good plug for our other episode of my friend's show, Deep Cuts.
Yeah,
Neil is a farmer,
and so is Tucker Smith in West Gloucester.
Does Tucker Smith want to come on and be a guest on Deep Cuts?
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, I would take anyone. Anyone can come on and be a guest on Deep Cuts.
I would love to bring him on. Yeah, that would be good. Yep. I'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like it could go either way with Tucker, but I'll ask him. I've been to his operation in West Gloucester. It's unbelievable. He's got multiple different what are those called? Fields, but they got the cover over them. Jeez.
Greenhouses.
He's got multiple greenhouses. He's building a new greenhouse. I'd love to hear about that. So, yeah, maybe we can do a farmer episode. We can get his opinion on daylight savings time. I bet he sides with me.
I bet everybody sides with you on it. I just think it's a shit topic. And you know how I get when I don't like something. I'm going to argue about it.
I wanted Don to do a whole special project on daylight savings time, but with somebody else.
I
didn't want to do it. He was like looking for ideas, and I was like, that's a good one. Turns out it's not. You can only talk about it for 4 minutes and 47 seconds.
Well, that's where I wanna pin this right now. 2 topics to end the day. Fuck daylight savings time, and 2, if anyone would like to come on and be a guest on our Deep Cuts series that runs parallel to this, we'd love to have you. It's like long form interview style. Check out the one with Neil. We had a few drinks, and that is something that we can do as well. But,
it can be deep too.
It can be deep in their cuts. Deep cuts.
It kind of started with an episode that got a little too deep, a little too dark, and we thought this is not going to go on for Monday morning. But this is a different type of cut. It's a deep cut, so it can be deeper.
It can be deeper. That's what she said. And all right. Good night, folks. Thanks for tuning in to my friend show.
Like, subscribe, Twitter.
This land was made for you and me. They told Elijah McClain as he lay in the street, fear in his veins, blood on his teeth, nowhere to go but down. That's right, Elijah. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. Set in a Texas draw from a leather seat. Protesters swarming outside in their funny pink hats, bawling their eyes out, yeah. Don't worry, ladies, this land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me, as a citadel, a sanctuary from all the evils of the world. And we can run it down just like that. God's hand on our back, and you tell me, baby, who this land was made for.